14 WILI and 95.3 FM presents Hometown Threads, a closer look at our community and the people that make it go. Every week, you'll hear uplifting stories from our local businesses and our neighbors. Now, here's our host for Hometown Threads, Keith C. Rice.
Episode 74 of Hometown Threads on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM and Willimantic Today Facebook and Spectrum 192 and the WILI Radio YouTube channel. Comes your way every Tuesday on WILI. Big thanks to our sponsors, Liberty Bank, be community kind, with 3 great local locations right across the street from the radio station, 679 Main Street. West Main Street, Willimantic, right in the, well, I was going to say where Ocean State Job Lot is, but soon to be Ollie's Bargain Outlet. And, of course, my wife manages that bank over there at West Main Street. And then Route 195 in Mansfield, Liberty Bank, be community kind. J. Matt Rupar, if you'd be so kind, say hello to the fine folks.
Hello.
And, of course, you listen to, you check out Hometown Threads every Tuesday at 5:05 on WILI. But there's multiple ways to view it on plenty of platforms. I mentioned Willimantic Today, my page, the Keith C. Rice page, Spectrum 192. And if you miss any of the previous shows, not just Hometown Threads, but if you go to WILI.com, we have so many shows up there, so many shows. But the Hometown Threads podcast at WILI.com is brought to you by Tripoli Pro Clean Services. So here we go with episode 74, and it's a pleasure to bring in. Finally got her in here. She's like the busiest person I know these days. You see her all over the place. She's got the swag on from Egg and Cheese. We can call you the owner, right? Yeah. Owner and founder?
Yeah.
Hannah Dupuy?
Dupuy.
Okay.
Yep.
We just call her Hannah usually, but I always make sure I got the last name right. Dupuy, French.
Hannah Dupuy, yep.
100% French? Oh, it's the French name, right?
French name.
Okay.
We'll stick with that.
Well, Egg and Cheese.
Egg and Cheese.
Yes. Go ahead, right off the bat. By the way, the jingle that you hear on these radio stations, I-98.3, our sister station, or here on WILI, I think it's mainly on I-98.3. Let's hear you. It was I'm going to say this facetiously. Is that a word, facetiously?
Yeah.
I say this in a facetious manner, whatever. It was born here, right? The jingle?
Yes.
So, Hannah.
Recorded here.
Sing it.
Okay. The jingle. It goes like this. Egg and cheese is sure to please you on any kind of morning. Yeah.
There's the yeah, right off
I
the bat.
added the yeah.
Yes. Now we're going to probably, the jingle's been running for months here on I-98.3, our sister station, and we got to add the yeah. And so it's going to keep on going, and we had to make her sing it right off the bat. And you and I were talking about, before the microphone and the camera went on, that a lot of people, not just me, right, forget the you in the middle there.
Yeah. We need to add it. We need to make a little tiny adjustment that most people probably don't even know is a thing.
I'm guilty as charged too, because I want to go egg and cheese, sure to please. But you're right, you forget the you. Go ahead, Matt, sing it. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not on the spot. Anyway, it's very catchy, as well as what Egg and Cheese. You guys, congratulations. I know Willimantic's been open since when?
The end of March. So I think March 21st. I think
that sounds about right.
I think so.
Couple doors up here. We're 720 Main Street. You are
776.
776 is literally a couple doors up.
Yeah.
So go check it out if you haven't already. You have a big following.
Thank you.
And I just was at the one in Franklin just the other day, and that's where it all started, right? So, well, before we get into the success of Egg and Cheese and what it's grown to be, tell us about, you're born and raised in Lebanon, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you went to Lyman.
I did. So I grew up there my whole life. I went to Lyman. I graduated from there. I around like 11th, 12th grade, I started hanging out with like my friends in Willimantic. So that's kind of how I started being in the area. And that's pretty much it as far as I grew up there, and then I just moved over here.
So you graduate from Lyman in what year again?
2010.
Class of 2010.
Yeah.
What's going? All right, now you
cares?
No, class of 2010. You should go class of 2010 Lyman. Anyone you want to shout out to in that class? I'm just kidding.
No.
We can do that later.
Everyone.
So, you're graduating from Lyman in 2010. What are your plans? Were you already thinking restaurant business? Were you already thinking food? What's going through Hannah's mind in 2010 after graduating from Lyman?
So, not too much. I always was in the restaurant industry, though. I started serving when I was like 16.
Where?
Everywhere.
Really?
I worked everywhere. Yeah, I started out at the lowest, like like busser. I think I even washed dishes at one point, and I slowly over the years like made my way up the ladder. And so that's how I kind of got into just like the restaurant industry.
And now, a lot of people your age, are end up being servers or waiting tables and stuff like that. It's a very common industry for people at that young of an age. It's like a first job for a lot of people. Through those years, well, I guess you obviously liked it because you turned into an owner. Was there any time during those years you were like, you know what, I like this. It's fun, but I want to go down this path. Was there another path that you were considering before really pursuing the restaurant industry?
So I didn't have like necessarily an exact idea of what I wanted to do, but I always did love working in the restaurant, and I knew that working for someone else wasn't really like what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of do my own thing.
So you had aspirations of owning your own business that young, huh?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I just knew like my path was working for myself.
So take us back to where before Egg and Cheese, obviously in Franklin, that's the first. Will there ever be a third one? Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Ooh, she's already thinking about
3, 4,
we'll get
5,
to that. Oh
6,
my goodness,
20.
She's already. Well, I was going to say it's only a matter of time where she goes global. Have you gone global yet?
Not yet,
No,
but let's do it.
You got orders coming in from Mars.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, all right. So what were the steps you had to take? Again, maybe around the time you hit like your early 20s. Where are you in your early 20s? Where are you working at that point? What kind of steps are you taking to get to becoming a franchise owner?
It's hard to say. It was honestly just a lot of like working at different places, seeing what style of like dining worked for me and like environments like in certain restaurants, and honestly just like I worked at a ton of different places. Like some just
Name some
weren't
places
for me.
that you worked.
I worked at Blondie's.
Of course,
my
Julie.
favorite, the last one I worked at was Michael Jordan's in
Did
the
you?
casino.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
and I just liked that one because you're in the casino, so there's a ton of different people that you can meet and like network yourself. And
Networking.
obviously, it was really busy all the time, so I made really good money there. But I appreciate everywhere I worked. I took a little bit of something that I learned at every place and still use it to this day, whether it was like a super dive bar or like Michael Jordan's. Like I used something from all of those places. So
You must wake up every day. You're obviously so thankful, and we see
Yes.
your posts on social media. You're always showing love, and just so you have a huge following on social media, and you do such a great job of that. You're only 31.
yeah.
It's amazing. So you've been look at this. It's been before you hit 30, you already had Egg and Cheese. So
Yeah.
you gotta wake up every day going, oh my, pinch yourself like, oh my God.
Yeah, like especially when people like ask me about the process, I don't really even have like a solid like answer because honestly, I just like was working, and like I said, I started from the bottom and I just kept growing and like learning from every place I worked at and getting better jobs, and that's just what led me to having my own spot. It wasn't even like a specific like plan that I had in action. So it is sometimes I wake up and I'm like, how is this reality?
So how did before you opened, what year did you open Franklin, the first one?
2021, May of 2021.
Right after COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, so May of 21, what was going on in those few years getting you closer to, when did you know, okay, Egg and Cheese is going to happen? How many years did it take you to say, okay, you can finally open the doors of the, well, it's like a truck, right?
I call it a shed.
A shed.
It's a standalone
It's
building.
really nice.
It's
You had a great
300 square
location.
feet. It's perfect for what I needed it to be at the time, and even still now, even though it's really small and like off to the side of the road, you can barely even see it. Like it is, I call it like the OG location. It's perfect.
It is
for what
the
it
OG
is.
location. Now, we can't forget to give the location for those. It's a great spot on your way to Norwich. It's right over the bridge where the mushroom farm is. You get into Franklin, basically right when you get into Franklin. It's right there on the right. In what parking lot is it again?
It's in the parking lot with Raymond's Auto, and the address is 892 Route 32
All right, so don't
in
forget.
North Franklin.
Right. And obviously Willimantic's getting more of the action right now. Franklin's
Yeah.
still very busy, I'm
It is,
assuming.
yeah.
So, okay, so going back to what we were saying here, how many years was the plan already in the works? where you knew the name, you knew what you're going to do. Talk about the few years leading up to opening up Egg and Cheese in Franklin.
So it actually wasn't a couple of years or any years. It
Really?
was just a few months. It was during COVID. Like I said before, I always knew like my path was to be my own, like employ myself and have my own business. So but during COVID, we didn't have to work. All the casino places were shut down, obviously. So we
Were you at Michael Jordan's at the time there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was able to, during that time, for like the 1 year, just save a little bit of money. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. And one day I was just like home, and I was looking for a breakfast sandwich, just like a quick one, like that I wanted to just like take home and eat. And I really couldn't find any. There's like, Bagel One, and I go there a lot, and I like them. I've been going to them for years, but I wanted something else. So I was like looking. I couldn't find anything. And honestly, like, I just was like, I'm just going to do it myself. So I wrote on a piece of paper, like a white piece of paper, just a sketch of like what is now the logo. It was a little bit different. I did it in pencil. It was just like all like scribbled on there. And I wrote in like Egg and Cheese, and I sent it to my friend, and I was like, I'm going to open a sandwich shop and call it Egg and Cheese, because I don't want anyone to like question like what my product is. And everyone's always like, I don't want to say
What?
like.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Everyone's kind of like oblivious if you make it some like crazy name. So I'm just like, I'm going to make it as simple and easy as possible. Egg sandwiches, egg and cheese. That's it. And my friend was like, yeah, that's a great name. Like, you should do it. And basically that was it. I sketched it out on the paper. I found that location. Shout out to Dimitri from Pleasant Pizza. He actually gave me the connect for that building.
Oh, that's great.
And then I reached out to the Raymond's Auto, who owns the building, and I just asked him if the space was available. He was like, yeah. And then I used whatever tiny bit of money I had saved to purchase the equipment in there. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Unbelievable. So, be honest with me. How many people have heard that story about what you just told? As far as, because what a story that is. How, you just simply wanted something different.
Yeah.
And I don't know one person that doesn't like an egg and cheese
Yeah,
sandwich.
exactly.
My wife and I. It's like of course we support you and all that. But if we need something at home real quick, bang out an egg and cheese.
And that's the other thing. I was during COVID, because we were home, I was making all the egg sandwiches myself at home. So I was just like, I'm over this. Like,
so there you go. You're sitting at home having during COVID. Yeah. Nobody can move. It's an egg and cheese fiesta.
Literally every morning, just egg and cheese, egg and cheese. I'm like, okay, who else can make this?
That's how it was kind of born.
Yeah.
And so you said May of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you remember the day, the first day it opened. And what were you? How did that first day go? Were you already? I know you.
Struggle.
Well. Because we all know the build up to Willimantic. We knew you had some exciting news. You were teasing it, which phenomenal job on that. Leading up to because I have trouble remembering yesterday. Take us through how you opened the Franklin location, the first ever location of Egg and Cheese. What was that like?
So I started the sketch. I think I did in November of 2020. So it was only really like a 6-month process before I opened. But it's a tiny, tiny building, so it really wasn't anything crazy. You have to get some licenses and stuff like that. But I had never experienced like opening anything myself. I never worked in a kitchen before. Like, I barely even cooked at home for myself. Like, I did like cook eggs and stuff like that, but nothing crazy, especially not high volume. So I did all the licensing. I put all the equipment in there. I did all the painting and stuff over the months prior. And then I actually opened on my mom's birthday, May 17th.
What's your mom's name again?
Tracy.
Hello to Tracy.
Tracy.
Who's usually up at the Willimantic location, but Tracy's wonderful.
Yes.
So go ahead. So you're okay.
So I opened May 17th, 2021. I had no idea what to expect. And honestly, it's so crazy to think about, because like I was just so like anxiety through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, I could not even deal with
And it was just you. You didn't have Cece yet, right?
Nope.
So it's just you.
Yep.
And that's it.
It was just me.
On that first day.
Yes.
You probably remember how many people actually swung through.
Because
so I did to get the word out, by the way.
Basically,
you were on
just social media.
Yeah, you were on then too,
it's
right? Yeah, that's
really been amazing to see how much reach you can have through social media. I almost feel like it's two totally different things. Like I have the business that does business, and then I feel like social media is its own separate like business kind of, except for the
it kind of is.
Yeah.
And you could definitely, you know, I use it for the radio station, use it for you, but it definitely can work out in many ways.
Yes.
Depending on what you do. So, okay, so you got Franklin going in May of 2021 on Tracy's birthday.
Yep.
And we'll get to, let's get to Willimantic now. So you said I think it was the end of March. We were all sitting on the edge of our seats because we couldn't wait. Yeah.
Me too.
And take us through that.
Well, that
I remember I walked in on your first day, right?
that was a total. Did you on that Saturday?
No, yeah, I think I did. I walked in on your first day, and then something. Remember, you didn't open right away.
Okay,
Wait,
no.
was that the first day?
No,
Yeah, it was.
Well, yeah, that was the first day, but the first Saturday was the worst day of my life.
All right, well, take us through that.
Okay.
Not that
Anyways,
you want to relive it
no,
again.
I'll take you through just the process in general because it's such one. We're on Main Street. We're in Willimantic. Now I had the other location. People know about it. So now like the word's kind of out there. There was the anticipation. This was a whole different ball game that I was not prepared for. I mean, I was prepared. No, I wasn't. So anyways,
Sometimes the best way to go into
you
it.
basically have to do the same thing. You know, you have to get all your licenses, all your inspections complete, and all that before you can open.
Dot the I's, cross the T's.
Exactly, and that takes a bit of time because a lot of people are like telling you this isn't right. You got to fix this. You need this, that. So that takes a little bit of time, which is like just like a frustrating.
Mistakes are gonna
period.
happen.
Yeah, exactly. You don't put things in the right spot, like whatever. So that, but then the actual opening was like the craziest thing ever. So we weren't able to open the first couple days because we needed to change some things. I forget. But this first Saturday that we opened, it was so busy.
Yeah,
and
I know.
like none of my staff had ever worked in a kitchen. Like we had to figure everything out like on the spot. And it was just honestly kind
Let me
of a
guess, was
disaster.
Sherry Scrivener the first at the door?
She actually wasn't. No, she wasn't. But even if
Sherry
she was
and Mark?
there, it was so busy and I was so overwhelmed that I don't even know who was there at
Yeah.
this point.
And I gotta say, shout out to Sherry and Mark. They do, as well as a lot of people. My boy Chris Grant as well.
Yes.
Boy, you got your own little marketing team there.
know, I love
Jeez, and it's turned into like a verb. Hey, let's go egg and cheese it today, or whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
And so it's great how the community has really wrapped their
love
arms
it.
around you, and you deserve it because you're so likable too.
Thank you.
And Hannah Dupuy is with us. She's the owner and founder of Egg and Cheese Franklin and Willimantic, of course, 776 Main Street, Willimantic. This is episode 74 of Hometown Threads on WILI. Keith C. Rice here. It's brought to you by Liberty Bank. Be community kind. And so let's get into, when Hannah's not when she's not egg and cheesing it. I'm going to try and use it in a verb throughout the rest of the show.
Yes.
Now, when you're not doing the egg and cheese thing, and by the way, how many employees do you have? Sorry.
I have a full-time and a part-time employee on 32 now.
I met a gentleman who
2.
made my sausage, egg, and cheese the other day. Yummy
How was
gentleman.
it?
Very good.
It was his
I
name's
usually
Matt.
get Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, like our J. Matt Rupar.
Yeah.
I usually get the steak, egg, and cheese. So I went and saw Matt was very nice, and he made me. I went with the sausage, egg, and cheese back on Thursday or Friday. But anyway, so you have
I have 2 over there.
Yep.
He's new though, so he just started. But I have 2, and then on Main Street is me, my mom. I have another girl named Vanessa, Amanda, and Estella. So I have 5,
Wow.
including me.
the staff.
So 4.
And you go back and forth. Are you mainly in Willie?
I go to 32 like once a week.
Check in, make sure.
Check in, yeah.
Okay.
I do like the ordering over there, so I'll go like do some inventory. But most of my time is spent on Main Street now.
Are you paying mom well?
I am.
All right.
And she loves it.
she
She loves it because
she's got to be so proud of you.
she is, and also she's just such like a people person that like it's the perfect job for her because she's just like
Oh,
talking
she's
to people
fantastic.
all day. I'm like, oh my god.
She is great. I mean, I was telling Hannah before we went on the air here that I'm like, I went in there about a month or so ago, and I literally was almost in there for like a half hour. I felt bad. I wanted to start a line, but me and her mom are just, Tracy and I are going back and forth. She's, telling me about Hannah growing up and all this. Anyway, but
That's hilarious.
back to my initial question from before. When you're not egg and cheese in it or doing the egg and cheese thing, what do you do for fun? You're busy even outside of the restaurants.
Yeah.
You call them restaurants? Well, yeah, you
Yeah.
can call them restaurants.
I guess
Yeah, because
so.
you can sit and eat.
Or you
and
can call it like a shop. Some people
shop,
call it like
yes.
a shop.
I was wondering that, yeah.
Yeah.
So outside those doors, what are you doing? Like, what else are you doing?
So my 2 like main extracurricular activities, I guess. I do CrossFit at Columbia CrossFit. So shout out to Columbia CrossFit because you guys are like my family. And also I do jujitsu. But I've only been and I do that. They have 2 gyms. So one is in Hebron and one is in Manchester, both called Manchester and Hebron Bushido Jiu-Jitsu.
What time are you up every morning?
I get up at like 5. Not too bad.
Okay, I'm usually up around 5
Yeah.
too, but I was thinking, my goodness, how do you have time and the energy to do all that?
Well, I don't know. I really like CrossFit and Jiu-Jitsu, so it's easy to do those. And then I honestly like egg and cheese too. Like I mostly
Working off all that egg and cheese.
Yeah, yeah. Trust me.
Oh, jeez.
I posted something the other day, like a picture, and I was like, everyone's always like, "Oh, you must be so." I can't. Everyone asks me like, "You must be so tired of eating eggs," and it's like, no. Now I'm just
No
addicted.
way, eggs,
Now I'm just addicted to eating
Eggs
eggs.
is so damn good. It's like protein, right? Major protein. Major source of protein. Matt, how many times a week do you eat eggs?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's very common.
No, delicious.
Have you,
love eggs.
Matt?
I've
You've
never
been down there,
seen-
right? Been down
I
there?
haven't been down there yet.
What?
We'll
I
get,
know, I've been
we'll
slacking.
get Matt. Sorry.
Matt!
I didn't mean
How
to put
dare
Rupar
you.
on the spot there. Sorry.
It's all
We'll
good.
get him down there.
It's okay.
What was it?
I don't
So,
hold it against you.
so the jiu-jitsu and the CrossFit,
Yeah.
you basically could beat the crap out of Matt and I at the same time, right?
It's not really. It's
Yeah, you
not so much
could.
beating the crap out of you guys.
I know, but it's good self-defense.
I love it though. It's
That's
so fun.
Probably
It's like
one
a
of the
game.
reasons why you did it, right? Well, now you enjoy it, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
it's good self-defense. So you're up at 5. You take us through a day of Hannah Dupuis doing the egg and cheese thing. You're up at 5, and go ahead. Take us.
So if I'm working, I'm up at 5, and then I'm doing my morning stuff until like I go to work at like 6. That's when I get there. We open at 7.
You
So
drink a lot of coffee? You a coffee person?
yeah.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah. I recently switched. I tried to switch from coffee to matcha.
Ooh.
But I'm back on the coffee wave. But anyways, yeah, so I do like all the opening stuff when we get there at 6. We have to like cook bacon, turn on all the equipment, make sure it looks nice and clean in there, just like kind of, collect
Are
ourselves.
you all running around singing the jingle while you're doing the egg and cheese?
You know what's funny?
Sure to please you on every morning. Yeah.
I have
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
play a playlist. I have a playlist and I put the jingle on it like 16 times
That's-
randomly.
I was just going to say, you should have that in a loop with
Yeah.
whatever you're playing.
Yeah.
We prefer, I know you have your own little thing. You can always throw on I-98.3 if you want, or WILI. But no, anyway, stick that jingle
It is in there.
in the loop. So it comes up,
Exactly.
every...
Just randomly because it's on like a long playlist. So like it will be like a Saturday and we'll be like super busy and then out of nowhere we'll be like egg and cheese. I'm like, oh, the jingle.
At the end of the show, at the end of the very end, we're even going to get Matt to do it. We're all going to sing it at the same time. But anyway,
Matt.
we have 2 minutes already? Jeez. Let's go an hour. No, we can't. We have the neighborhood coming up. But
That did go by really quick.
I know. I told you. Before you
Yeah.
blink, it's over. And I have a couple more questions at the end. But back to the jingle for a second. I just
Yeah.
thought of this. How about every time you open the door, it's you singing the jingle?
I know,
Egg
right?
and cheese. Sure, that'd be kind of.
I wish we could. We should super quickly talk about the jingle because I don't. Do you know that my friend and I made it in our car?
Tell the story because God, what was it? Over a year ago? Yeah, it was over a year
Yeah.
ago. I had to be going on a walk that day. I think it was out at the North Wyndham Mansfield Dam, the dike there, whatever. I remember looking at it going, this is freaking brilliant.
Yeah,
And I
you
reached
did.
out to you, and well, the rest is history. But so go ahead. Yeah, you guys are singing it in the car.
Yeah,
or
really
something?
quickly, like, so my friend Alyssa, she's musical. She like sings. She's in a band and stuff. And we were just talking about egg and cheese randomly one day, and she's like, "You should make a jingle and like try to get it on the radio." And I totally was just not taking her seriously, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, that's hilarious." So I all day long, I was just sending her like stupid jingles.
You were really?
like just random. Like I wish I recorded them all because I made like 12 that day, and I was just sending them like rapid fire, and she was like liking them all. And then she like shows up at my house the next day with like recording equipment. She's like, no, like we're gonna.
What?
She's like, we're gonna record the jingle. So we like went. We were doing it in my apartment. It didn't sound good because there was too much like. Not
So
good
go to the car.
acoustics.
Why not?
So she's like, and if you sing in your car, like there's good acoustics in there. So
We all
she
sing
was
in our
like, She
car.
was like, so let's go to the car. So we go to the car and we like go to Bridge Street. I don't know why. And we like
You'll never forget where she did
we
it.
park on Bridge Street and we just recorded the jingle in the car. And then I posted it and still like not really taking it seriously. And then you reached out and you're like, no, this jingle is actually really good.
And Keith C. Rice said,
Yeah.
"Hey, this is kick ass." Ooh, can I say ass? Well, I can on YouTube.
I almost did. I almost did before.
All right,
Anyways.
I know we got to wrap this up. That's
Yeah.
an amazing story. I know you probably have plenty more stories,
I do.
but I got to know, which I asked all my guests at this time as we get ready to close the show. I know you've already shouted out to a few people, but your list is probably so long. But at this time, I want you to shout out and show love to people that have helped you on this incredible journey of Hannah Egg and Cheese.
To be
Hannah, Egg and
honest,
Cheese.
Egg and Cheese is a collective effort. I want to thank the entire community. Everyone has been helpful, uplifting, and been the reason why we have succeeded. So, all of the community, I love you guys. You're the best. And it is because of you that we are continuing to be great.
You are an
Thank you.
incredible success story. Of course, we can't forget you. Even the Hartford media outlets have reached out to her. We saw the Scott Haney piece was fantastic. She, she's going to be going global soon if she hasn't already. Maybe she doesn't know, but she
And I'm
already is.
taking you guys all on the ride.
All right.
Let's do it.
Next Egg and Cheese stop, Mars. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Anyway, look, before we wrap it up, Matt, you're not getting out of this.
All right.
Now,
Get over here, Matt.
we're gonna sing it, and then actually should I do my wrap up and then we sing it?
Come on.
No, because I say Rod. Okay, I say Roddy's line. So let's sing it. We got to be in sync here. In sync. Hey, you like that? Oh, you're
I'm
gonna get this.
recording
Oh,
this.
she's recording this. No pressure. Matt, we're gonna sing this together, and then I'll do my wrap up. So here we go. The count of 3. No, don't forget the U in the middle
Come on,
there.
let me get you, Matt.
All right, I'll
Right.
get over here.
Yeah, come on.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Egg and cheese is sure to please
you on every morning. All right, we heard that. Hannah, thank you so much.
I love it.
Thank you to Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind, Hannah Dupuy, Egg and Cheese, Franklin and Willimantic, 776 Main Street, Willimantic. Thank you to J. Matt Rupar. See, Matt,
guys.
Friday's homegrown. You know how to sing. He does the whole Connecticut local music thing, so Matt knows how to sing.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Keith C. Rice out for episode 74 of Hometown Threads. And the words of the great Roddy McCumber.
Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.
And that concludes another edition of Hometown Threads. Got a story for Keith? Reach out to him on Facebook by searching Keith C. Rice or email him at krice@hallradio.net. Don't forget to tune in next week on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM, as well as the Willimantic Today page on Facebook.